Well, hello retro game players. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Marcus. This video is going to be, I'm moving, and it may be sort of the last in the series before I move out of this house. This is going to include most of my collection that I haven't shown so far. Maybe some duplicate items, but that's not because it's on purpose. It's going to have all of my game consoles, at least the ones that I could find. It's going to have some of my gaming other items, you know, just random stuff. So what you're looking at here is the back wall where you've seen it in some videos. There's a couch, and then, you know, basically I'll just kind of go through some items here. These are the Tiger Electronics LCD games. That's Ninja Turtles 3, Ninja Turtles 2. This is a different type and actually really fun. This is just Dimension X Assault. This is the first Ninja Turtles. I had that one when I was a kid for sure. And then this is Basketball, which is pretty unique as well. And they're sitting on this cool LED shelf that kind of changes colors. Up top is like this guitar that's got a neon thing on it. Just a couple cool posters. You know, this is a Ninja Turtle Frisbee. This is signed by Peter Laird. So that's kind of cool. I have actually quite a few random objects signed by him. And then over here is a Ghost Dog marquee from a theater. Ian actually used to work at a theater. So, and then this is a Fairy Tale Adventure poster that I've had since I was probably like 13 or 14. And it's massive. It's bigger than a normal poster. And as I've said in previous videos, I really like Fairy Tale Adventure for the Genesis. It's also a PC game. This is a cool clock with pool balls. I actually played in a pool league for a while, so I'm not great or anything. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, one of my favorite games. This is actually one of my original childhood posters. It's pretty thrashed. You can see how many times I've had it hung up. It's horrible. Lethal Enforcers, another awesome flyer. This is Wind Waker, and this is actually, as I've said, I've never played this, which is ridiculous. I just know I want to spend a lot of time with it, and I haven't yet. I got this from my buddy Sean. I think I've mentioned that in previous videos, so thanks again, man. It's really cool. It's super thick. Showed this in the last couple videos, but a couple of Nintendo flyers or folders. These are like school folders. This is one arcade marquee, Street Smart. I actually converted this. It was totally destroyed, but I was able to save some parts and convert it into like a main cabinet. Behind here is Pitfall flyer. This is some kind of a toy. I can't remember what it is. Total Carnage, which is pretty awesome. Incredible Hulk, which is not a original comic, but it's kind of cool. This is the original manual from a Lego ship that I had when I was a kid, which was really awesome. And it's the whole manual. It's just open to a certain page. This is that weird certificate of authenticity for that Atari game that was dug up in the landfill. My friend Greg made this graphic novel, which is pretty cool. This is Batman, of course. Batman Returns for the Game Gear. This is a weird jazzercise photo or flyer. If I remember, it was like Jane Fonda or something. A couple random items. There's Resident Evil. Cool Porsche. I like Porsches. This I got when I was a kid. I found it in an old abandoned building. There's Superman. This is a really weird thing I found at a Goodwill, and I just think it's awesome. It's like these crazy guitars, and yeah, they're just really weird. So they're all 80s. This is kind of a cool old school Ninja Turtles thing. This is it's not real neon, but it's a Schlitz malt liquor sign that Joseph is kind of loaning me at the time. He's actually in China right now. That's most of the cool stuff that I have on the walls. So I laid out a couple of my portables, which I've talked about before on some of the stuff. So here's a Game Gear, talked about that already. Just a Sega bag. This is kind of unusual. It's a Tetris Attack backpack, which is kind of small. I actually got this at a swap meet for like $5, and it's kind of dirty, but it was hilarious. I couldn't fit it on. It's like too small. I couldn't even get my arms around it. This is a really nice condition PlayStation bag, which I also got at that same swap meet. I think I did a pickup video on that. This is my Lynx 1 and 2 and some games. These are definitely really awesome portable systems. Here's Nomad 1 and Nomad 2, which it's always good to have 2 of those just in case one breaks. This is Game Boy Advance. This is a Game.com, the later model, and this is the original Game.com. I talked about the games already, but this is the system, and I actually did have this when it first came out. I kind of liked it. I know it sounds really weird, but I use it to get online and mess around. I'm missing the stylus, but that's okay. Whatever. I'll find one eventually. This is just a Game Boy SP Advance bag. This is a Zelda bag that you can put whatever you want in, but I keep my 3DS in there. This is my box for the 3DS Majora's Mask. And there's the Majora's Mask 3DS XL. It's an old school Game Boy, which is pretty cool to have. This is a Turbo Express with a TV tuner. My buddy Sean, I think, hooked me up with this thing, if I remember correctly. It doesn't work, but I do have a capacitor kit. Oh, you know what? I think I bought this from somewhere else, but the tuner I may have gotten from him. But yeah, this is a capacitor kit. I was going to make a video on that, I just haven't. There's that blue Game Gear that we showed in another video, and there's the magnifier. This is a sealed Game Boy 4-play adapter. That's funny, I said 4-play. It's a 4-player adapter. This is a PSP that I think came with like Gran Turismo, yeah. I can't remember which one this is, if it's the 2000 or 3000. I actually have a 3000, it's at the new house, and so I'm not going to show that one. This is kind of a cool cable for it though. This is the component cable, which is nice to have. So those are most of the portables. There might be a couple others, but I think that's most of them. I know I've shown it before, but there's my Wii U Zelda edition and the Wii U itself. Now I've got various controllers laid around here that I'll be showing you guys. This is the Microsoft Force Feedback steering wheel. It's really basic, it's just USB, but it's actually got a really good feel to it. And this is the kind of steering wheel that's perfect for like Monster Truck Madness and some of the other games, because it's really fun. It's just a straight up simple, you know, USB steering wheel. So I do recommend that one. Okay, on the top shelf we've got a sweet Lego camping van. These are obviously some pretty cool controllers. You guys recognize them, I'm sure. They're GameCube controllers for the Wii U. This is a Japanese version, and then this is the GameCube adapter that lets you play multiple players for like Super Smash Brothers. This is a PlayStation 10, so it's like the old controller. These are the original boxes for the Classic Controller Pros. That's the Motion Plus controller, and then Wii Play, and that's all the boxes for that. Here's an IQ. We did a video on that. This is my original Wii box that I bought, so I've got that, everything's in there. Now down here is Spider-Man, a giant version of Spider-Man. He's very tall. My dad got me that. Thanks, Pop, appreciate that. And then this is a really awesome History of the Ninja Turtles set. And I saw this at Toys R Us, and I just basically was like, holy crap, this is so cool. So it's most of the figures. I think there's a couple missing. I was watching, I think it was like SEO Toy review, and they were saying that some of the molds were lost for maybe 1 or 2 of the figures. But it's really cool. So that's all Leonardo. Got a black light with this pretty crazy thing. I don't know what that is, but it just looks cool. Batman, Ken. This is unusual. This is a AES cart for Neo Geo. It's my only cart that I have. And I got it because this game is supposedly super rare, but I think it's just some kind of a knockoff. I don't really know. I've asked a couple people. No one's really sure, because I guess they're saying the label looks really good. But I think you have to open it up and tell. Anyway, it's called Neo Turf Masters. So yeah, look that up and you'll see what I mean. It's a pretty expensive game, but it's actually a good game too. So that's one reason why I got it. And it wasn't overpriced at all. I mean, I think I got it for like $60. So even if it was a fake, they would be trying to charge way more than $60. So Anyway, that's why I got it. This is the Super Scope 6 in the box. I've talked about that. You guys all know who that is. I used to play with these things all the time. That guy was awesome. This is something you guys should probably know what it is too. You don't want to play with that too much, otherwise you may die. Here's Toe Jam and Earl and their ship, which is the Rapmaster rocket. So got those as part of a Kickstarter rewards program. This is the Skylanders Trap Team. This I got on sale for $9. I thought that was pretty cool because it does include the actual Wii game in there, so that's pretty awesome. Down here we've got another Ninja Turtles set. I thought this one was really cool too. So this is called Metal Mutants with Fugitoid. And as I've said in a few other videos, I've got a lot of Ninja Turtles figures, so maybe I'll do videos down the road of those. This is the Pip-Boy. Fallout 4, you guys know what that is. This is the Fallout 4 Anthology. This is that PS4, the Gold Edition, that I got for a fucking screaming deal. Screaming deal on Craigslist. And thank you so much, man, to that guy who did not inflate the thing to be out of control. You can check out the video if you want. This is a Virtual Boy from Blockbuster, actually. It is inside of there, but I just didn't open it up. So it's a pretty cool. It's in great shape, actually. And yeah, it's the original Blockbuster container or hard case. This is the Sega CD from Blockbuster. Here it is. You can see there's stickers on it. And I actually had a video that I did on that as well. Over here is another hard case that's just a universal case, but it's cool. It's nice to have. And then this is another universal case, except there's something very special here. And this is the Resident Evil Code Veronica Dreamcast, and it's a limited edition. These are not the original controller that goes for it, or the VMU. But, you know, they look close enough. It's just, these are like more of an orange, and this is kind of like a red plastic. It does sort of match the sides. Actually, it's not really that bad. But anyway, here's the back, where you can see the serial number of the limited edition. So 734. And then this is just a VGA box, which is kind of cool because it kind of matches those. Over here I've got a night light, which is pretty cool. It's a Tetris light. You can actually like assemble it in different patterns, and like, yeah, it's actually really cool. It's kind of fun. This is Time Crisis 3. I talked about that in one of the PlayStation 2 videos. And then this is a science kit that I had when I was a kid. 130 and 1. And you can make all kinds of stuff with this. You can make a little radio station. You can make an alarm, like a tripwire, all kinds of cool stuff. So it's pretty awesome, actually. Over here we've got Mario Paint, which I talked about as well in another video. Behind here is the Super Mario Maker poster. There's actually 2 of them, and I mentioned that in the Super Mario Maker video. Below that is the Donkey Kongas, or Donkey Kong Kongas, I don't know what they're called. Jungle Beat, those kinds of games on the GameCube use them. They're really fun, actually. And then down here is a 6-button arcade pad. Here's the Sega 32X box. This is the Zelda, and this is the Wind Waker edition Wii U. So there's the box for that. I got that for like $200 when the Wii U was still pretty, I don't know, like a year old or something. So it was a pretty good deal. Just down a little bit is the Sidewinder Force Feedback 2. Now this is what Wayne and I used on like Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator. It's really accurate. It's super fun. It's USB. It's very easy to configure, and it's a great joystick. It's just super easy to set up and play. This is an original Sega Genesis in box down here, and it is in there too. Most of these actually do have systems in it, except the Wii U does not. And then at the bottom down here is a Force Feedback Sidewinder. It's the first one. It's the Microsoft Force Feedback Sidewinder. And you can see it was bundled with Interstate 76, the Nitro Pack. I think it had the Nitro Pack. And it also had MDK and Shadows of the Empire. Now, I bought this thing really like right when it first came out, and it actually was one of the things that got me into gaming on the PC because of Interstate 76 and you know, I've talked about it in other videos, but basically that's around the time when I got a 3D accelerator. And man, yeah, it was just awesome to play this thing. The thing is that it uses a, I can't remember the name of it. It's like a game port, or it's like an old school plug-in, and it goes on your sound card. So if you don't have like an old sound card with this connector, you can't really hook this up. And then over here is the Sega Activator, which is really cool to have. I got this thing for like 10 bucks or something. You can see the original price tag over here. I don't know if that's the original, but $78.97. And this is nuts. It's like basically this octagon that you stand in and punch and kick. And I remember the main game that it was talking about was Eternal Champions. You can see they've got Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat, but I definitely remember them talking about Eternal Champions. And you can see it came with it. So Eternal Champions now included. So pretty awesome. Now this thing down here is the Steel Battalion Xbox controller, which we did do some videos of that as well. And it's incredible. It's just a great controller. It's too bad there's only like 2 games for it. When you're playing Steel Battalion, all these things do really different functions, which is really awesome. But the way the game works is if you are dying and you do not flip up this button right here and eject in time, you will actually lose your save game. So no matter how far you've progressed through the game, if you're on like level 10 or whatever and you die in combat, you lose your save game. So you have to be ready to hit this eject button at any time. It also has these cool pedals. And anyway, it's an awesome controller. It's one of the best controllers ever. So over here is a couple different Xboxes. This is the Halo edition. This is the translucent green one. I've got a bunch of controllers that match this, which is pretty awesome, and 2 of those are going to go in that Xbox kiosk. And also, this is the one that was in that kiosk too, so I had to get it ready to move, so I took it out. And then this is a Mountain Dew limited edition Xbox, which is very cool, and I love the color. It's like extremely neon green. It also has the remote controller thing plugged in at the moment. Now this was the shelf where a lot of games were, but behind here you can see some Master Effects lightsabers, which are really awesome. They're the old school original ones, and yeah, they're just really awesome. They make sounds. You can battle with them. I think they came out, these are like 2005 or something, so they're like, you know, the Master Effects replica versions, and they're very nice. They're before Hasbro bought them, so they're like metal pieces, and just anyway, they're really cool. So they're mounted on the wall back there, which was too bad because they were covered up. This is the X-Arcade tank stick. I've showed this in a lot of videos, but yeah, it's basically a custom skin that's put on there. And the other one is the Star Trek one, and then the other one that I've shown is the Dragon's Lair one. So we'll be putting that one on at some point once I get settled. Now up here is a very unique controller. This is actually like a PS2 controller that has headlights, and it works with any of the games, like the ATV games, snowmobiling games, motorcycle games. It's really cool. I got this for $5 at a swap meet. I think it's awesome. I love that it's got headlights. These are really nice. They're called drawer boxes. They slide out, and I've got a lot of Ninja Turtle comics. So tons of Ninja Turtle comics. At the bottom, however, is where we've got some Game Fan stuff. And at some point, I'll probably do some videos on those, because Game Fans are just awesome. And, you know, you can just see, but I mean, awesome. 32X stuff. There you go. Sonic Chaotix. Gex. Not sure what's going on. Oh, it's Bug. Oh, the Virtual Boy. Look at Mario. He's all confused. So, yeah, anyway, I've got a lot of these, and it'd be fun to, like, kind of go through these at some point. Got a couple special edition turtles in here. I'm not sure what all this is. There's a Fugitoid. There's a big one. It's a very large book. Here's Game Fan Volume 4 and 5 kind of together, because I think I have more of one than the other. There's Turok. But yeah, lots of Ninja Turtles stuff. This is, I think I mentioned at one point I had some Tech World. So this is pretty cool. That's one of the video games, a PC video game that William Shatner did. And then X Mutants is pretty cool too. That was another Sega Genesis title. Let's see what else is interesting. Superman stuff. Here's some really obscure stuff. This is like Puma Blues. Pretty sure that like Neil Gaiman worked on some of this stuff, but I can't really remember. Pretty cool stuff. It's like just really interesting. Let's see. Oh yeah, Shakan, Forever Man. So got a bunch of comics of that, which is really cool. As you guys know, I really like Shakan. Lots of this stuff is really unique. Here's like these little books that were done, and they're all signed by Rack, the artist. So anyway, I'm a big fan of those. Over here, I've got a Ninja Turtles lunchbox and a Mario thermos. Sega Genesis Model 2 in the box, and yeah, it is in there. PlayStation in the box. Got a Sega Dreamcast, old school. And then a Wii here that came with Super Mario Brothers Wii, so it's kind of a newer edition. It's the black model. And then this is the first of one of the cool consoles we'll talk about, so the Sega Master System. Gotta love the Sega Master System. And again, I don't normally keep it here, it's just I just moved it up here. This is a pretty cool arcade, mini arcade. You'll notice this is at the end of all of the videos. This is another one. This is Pac-Man. This one's pretty cool too. So I like having those. This is my PS2 Slim. You know, it's funny, I have a fat model and I can't find it. I don't know where the hell it is. This is a cleaning kit for the Game Boy, which is pretty awesome. There's those Fallout Nuka-Colas. And then this was actually a bookshelf where I had Wii games and stuff. And then this is some weird lady like fantasy thing that I got from a friend who gave that to me. So this is a Logitech G25 racing wheel. It's pretty awesome. It's got the clutch down there. It's got a H-pattern shifter that you can you know, kind of go to town with, or put it in just like a simple mode, which is up or down. Anyway, really awesome controller, and I've used this for like the Dirt 3 videos. Pretty cool. It is force feedback. It's just a little harder to set up than the Microsoft one that I mentioned earlier. And then this is the G940. This is again a force feedback joystick, but it's really meant for flight sims. And you know, all these buttons are used. This throttle is really cool. It actually detaches, so you can have left and right throttles. So it's very, very useful for a lot of flight games, like if you're flying like, you know, large jets and stuff. And then this is the rudders down here. There's a Wii Fit stand, and then a power pad back there. Down here I've got a bunch of weird gaming magazines that aren't as cool to me. Game Pro, but it's like Call of Duty. I mean, it's like newer stuff, you know. So like a lot of this stuff is probably newer. Let's see what this one is. Game Informer. So, and then these are some Nintendo Powers. Some of these are older. I think this one's kind of old. I don't know what year this is. Super NES, F-Zero, that kind of stuff. But a lot of these Nintendo Powers are like kind of newer, you know. Let's see what else. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I mean, there's like the DS or something. So anyway, pretty cool. Here's some graphic novels that I have, but also some cool stuff like the Fallout Survival Guide, Secrets of the Ninja, you gotta have that. Dark Knight Returns, classic, V for Vendetta, The Watchmen. This is such a good graphic novel. If you saw the movie and didn't like it or whatever, please read that. It's so awesome. Punisher, another ninja book. Let's see, Preacher, a bunch of Preachers. Over here, this is cool. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. The box set. So if you guys ever seen this before, this is phenomenal. I mean, this stuff seriously freaked me out. I mean, just the artwork on the cover of this one, and let's see if I can flip through some of this stuff. Absolutely horrifying stuff. Look at that. That shit still freaks me out. Are you kidding me? Freaking kidding me? Anyway. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I think that, like, people, I don't know if it got banned or something, but yeah, this is some scary, scary shit. Up here I've got some crazy stuff. Action Bible, that's pretty funny. That's like a graphic novel of the Bible. Batman, Death of Superman, more Preacher, Ultraman. Here's Ronin. Ronin's really cool. It's too bad this copy's not very good, but it's Frank Miller. Some other Frank Millers. Dark Knight. So yeah, just some various stuff, you know. And here's some guides. So you can see I've got Lord Carnage, Book 1. Give me a shout out, dude. What are you waiting for, you know? Mortal Kombat Deception. Oh, here's 13, the official guide. That's awesome. I love that game. Oh, what is this? Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Devil May Cry. The Sims Live and Large. X2 Wolverine. Baten Kaitos. Devil May Cry 2. What is this one? Shinobi. This must be newer, right? Yeah, it's the newer one. I'm sure they didn't even make them for the old one. Wild Arms 3, Police Quest. Look at that. That's sweet. I mean, that's so cool to have the old school SWAT game. I mean, look at that. I totally love this game. Myst, which is kind of useful, actually. Resident Evil 4, Game Player's Encyclopedia of Nintendo Games. So that's kind of unusual. That's really weird. Oh, that's Resident Evil. Hold on. Here's Game Player's. Game Player's Encyclopedia of Nintendo Games. Nintendo Game System, Comic System. 1 and 2. Eastman and Laird, Book 1 and 2. Final Fantasy VII Strategy Guide, which I have used. Another Comic System. This is pretty cool. These are just like big comics, basically, of Nintendo. Here's some Nintendo other comics. Zelda comics. Super Mario comic. So here's my Jaguar. My wife got me that for Christmas. Really awesome. TurboGrafx 16 with the turbo booster as well, so it can do composite out, which is nice instead of RF. A couple Atari Game Centers. Those are filled with controllers. Wii controllers, Xbox controllers, Atari controllers. I mean, just tons of controllers. Down here is a lot of the consoles. So we've got a mini SNES or a Retron Chameleon. Down here is a PlayStation 1, and this is the old school one with all the jacks on the back. Atari 2600, which is modded for S-Video Out. If you haven't seen that video, check that out. It's pretty cool. S-Video and also composite. GameCube, original Nintendo, Sega Saturn, Super Nintendo, N64. These are very cool Transformers. This one is Sega Genesis or Mega Drive. Very, very awesome. This one is PlayStation. You'd think it'd be Super Nintendo, but they made it with PlayStation. It's got the little controller and stuff, so those are really cool. And then this is a pretty interesting Ninja Turtle kind of kids storage bin, but it works well for what I need it for. And in here is tons of controllers, light guns, joysticks. I got the NES Advantage in here. Just tons of weird stuff. So there's the NES Advantage. This is a fighter stick. There's a PlayStation 1 down here. It's really cool. So tons of joysticks and stuff. Atari Jaguar controllers. Here's some Dreamcast controllers in there. More controllers, more light guns. Up here, some N64 stuff. I actually brought a lot of controllers to the new house as well, just because I wanted to play some games there, which I brought a Retron 5 over there, just so I could do that. So you guys, that's it. That's my shit. I don't think I missed anything. So thanks a lot for watching, you guys. This has been a chore. I'm going to start packing this stuff up now. But there used to be games everywhere in here. So it was crazy. But yeah, I appreciate it, you know. And stay tuned. There's going to be lots of new videos from the new house. And of course, you know what to do. You keep that shit retro, right? Like this. Banana split, I don't know if you guys know what that is. Anyway, you keep that shit retro by watching the old banana splits. Later on,